Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Brothers Grimdark. And it's a very exciting day for me today because I'm going to be talking about probably my most powerful unit I have in any of my armies. It's my warlord for my Night Lords, Serak Eventide. He is, I think I talked, if you've not seen it yet, go check out my Night Lords army overview. He is the leader for my second wave of Night Lords. So I have one army which is kind of your 40k warband type thing. And then my second force is more of a sort of Horus Heresy inspired legion, I guess. And he's the leader of that. So he's a Terminator Praetor. I run him as a Terminator Warlord in 40k. He has a ginormous pair of lightning claws, which are from another particular model I borrowed them off of. And he's my favorite character right now. He is so much fun to play with. There's some fantastic things you can do in the Chaos book. This is one of my favorite ones I've come up with so far. And he's just tons of fun to play with, and he's really, really good on the table. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about him today. So Serak, I imagine him as the leader, I said, of my sort of second wave of Night Lords. He is very no-nonsense, loves to get into the thick of things himself, and he is not afraid. He's not going to be cowering at the back and directing things. He is right up in the fight. So to kind of represent that, I gave him the Killing Fury Warlord trait, which is a Night Lord specific one. And what that does is give him D3 extra attacks, and he always counts as being in wanton slaughter, which means he always has exploding sixes, which is fantastic. So in combat, he's already got 6 attacks base, I think, for being a Terminator Warlord. I give him a pair of lightning claws, so he gets an extra attack for that. He gets exploding sixes on his hits, and he's re-rolling wounds because he's got lightning claws. Fantastic, love it. And here's where the sneaky part comes in. One thing for me for Night Lords is I always think that they should be kind of undivided. I know that there's tons of amazing things you can do with the Marks of Chaos, but for me, I almost always run them as undivided just because that fits more kind of thematically what I want to do. I don't imagine them being particularly demon-y or anything like that. But I have given him a demon weapon because it's really, really cool. And I like the idea that he's just kind of like enslaved this thing for his own purpose. They're not like demon worshiping or anything like that. He's just like, nope, I'll have that. And you're getting him a lightning claw. So it's called Uluko the Black, I think, is the Chaos Undivided demon weapon. I also love just the rules for demon weapons. I love that you've got this thing where you have to take a leadership test, otherwise it tries to eat you. That feels just fantastically fun more than anything else, just not just like from a rules perspective. It's just a really great mechanic to keep the games more interesting. So he's yet to fail it in any of our games. One day he is, and I'm going to laugh anyway because I don't really care. But this relic is particularly good because what it does is anytime you wound something, it does an extra mortal wound in addition. Now, remember, he's got this on lightning claws, which I'm re-rolling wounds for. So not only does he have exploding sixes off of his 6 attacks, he's also going to be wounding. I mean, he's not actually that strong, so he's only strength 4. So, but with lightning claws, he's re-rolling all those wounds, and anytime he does any wounds, it's a mortal wound in addition, plus all the additional armor saves he has to do. He does so much damage. It is ridiculous. He is the only thing I've come up with so far who can deal with Linden's Wraith Blades because they've got invuls. Invuls don't matter when you're doing mortal wounds. So not only does he have a shocking number of attacks, he dishes out wounds to anything, and he's re-rolling those because they're lightning claws. So he's incredibly powerful, and I still think thematic. Lightning claws on a Terminator still feels very Night Lords to me. He's Chaos Undivided, and he's got a demon he's like enslaved himself, which is cool. So I like that he's thematic, I like that he's very powerful, and I like that he's very simple to play with, honestly, too. I'm not the most competent player all the time, but having a warlord who you can just charge up the table, and almost every single game he gets his points back or doubles them sometimes just by getting into combat and destroying whatever he's with. He will eventually die almost every single game because he is not very subtle. He's just in the middle of the table barneying with anybody who comes near him. So he will eventually die. Like, he's not the toughest thing in the world. He's still a Terminator. So he's got, 2-up save and 4-up invul, so he's not nothing. He takes a little bit to take down, but he will die eventually. But every single game we've played with him so far, anything he's touched has just died. Doesn't matter what it is. He will go through infantry, no problem. He will go through heavy infantry. He'll go through things with invul saves. He will go through monsters. It just doesn't matter. He touches something, it's probably going to die. So yeah, he's incredibly powerful. We are fudging his rules slightly because technically you can only give the demon weapon to one of his lightning claws, and I gave him two. And it felt a little bit silly to just have one extra attack with the spare lightning claw. So we have made him slightly better than he should be by house ruling that he gets to make all of his demon attacks with the pair of lightning claws, because we really think it should get treated as just one weapon and gets the extra attack. Something to be aware of. If I was playing truly competitively, I wouldn't do that. That is it's cheating, essentially. We just acknowledge that it's getting an extra attack for it. But he's already getting that D3 extra attacks for his Warlord trait anyway, so yeah, it's really, really good. But that's just the combo I've come up with. There are so many good things you can do in the book. Demon, I do think at some point I might want to try a Demon Prince as well, because Serak at the moment is kind of left on his own a little bit as that main damage output, and I could do with something to be also distracting, so I kind of fancy a Demon Prince as a distraction card effects more than anything else, and there's lots of really cool relics that you can put on him as well. So would love to know what you guys are doing for your Chaos Warlords and different combos you can do. There are so many good ones in this book. There's so many really, really cool things you can do. I love that it's as flexible it is and gives you all these different options. I am going for the unsubtle route of just making an absolute blender. And he's very, very good at it. As I said, I think he's me and Lynn have talked about it. We think he's maybe one of the most powerful single units we've got right now. And he's 110 points. He's not exactly that expensive, and every game he makes that up. And he's a great character. Love him. And you're going to see a lot of him probably on the channel over the time, because so far I haven't found anything better to replace him with. So that's what I've got. Let me know what you're doing with your Warlords. I'd love to hear what different things you've been trying out, what's been working, what's not, and what you think of this Warlord combo I've come up with. Do you think it's a good one? Do you think it's got some play even when you do it properly and don't cheat with that extra attack? Let me know what you think. But yeah, that's it for today. I'll be back with some more episodes. We're talking about my Night Lords sometime soon. I hope you enjoyed these so far, and we'll see you again soon on the Brothers Grimdark.